3 to 5 times as much. And speaking about
tell us about Store Energy and its business model. Why has GDF Suez set up a new company?
Very simply, Store Energy is GDF Suez storage company, and we intend to operate and develop storage in France, for sure, as we have done since a long time, but also overseas. And we have already very strong position in Germany, and we are developing some new facility in England, in the United Kingdom.
You've set up different companies. You've set up different companies in each of the countries you're operating in. Is that the case?
Yes. We have Store Energy for France, Store Energy Deutschland for Germany, which is the former Erdgasspeicher Deutschland,
right.
and Store Energy UK, which in Store Energy UK is currently developing the Stoblack facility. South from Manchester.
The conference, we've been talking a lot about the Ukraine-Russia dispute. So I'd just like to say the EU has called for increased gas storage infrastructure. And do you think that such investment can really solve some of Europe's gas security of supply issues?
First thing I have to say, and I would like to say that more like as the GIC president, it means Gas Storage Operators President. GSE is an association, and we have 33 members throughout Europe, and we represent 85% of the storage capacities.
Right. Yeah.
We develop for GSE a very strong position, and we consider that firstly, the whole gas industry throughout Europe has had a very responsible answer to this crisis. And I mean, it was the case for providers, I would say, on the one end, and also for infrastructure operators.
Right.
That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is that this crisis clearly demonstrates the necessity of developing commercial storages. Sometimes I listen to the fact that strategic storages could have played a role facing this crisis.
Yes.
In fact, we all know that no strategic storage was used during this crisis. So it's clearly the evidence that commercial storages have a very strong position and should be developed.
The Ukrainians use some of their storage, but I imagine we would call commercial rather than strategic.
I would call rather commercial. Yes,
fair. But actually, you've raised about the EU, and I'm just wondering about new storage investments. And there is this same old issue that we always hear about open access developments or not having open access. And what's your view about this? Do you think that all new investments in underground storage or gas storage should be open access, or should there be a waiver from the EU regulator so that anybody, or just the investors, can use it?
In fact, you have three conditions for storage throughout Europe. First one is Article 22, using Article 22. For GSE, and that's also my personal position, we are much more in favor of the choice between negotiated access or regulated access, and globally we do prefer having a negotiated access because we think that the market is the best answer for developing new capacity for the future. And in both cases, negotiated access and regulated access, transparency, third-party access, transparency, and non-discrimination are the rules. Yes.
Well, certainly, in your UK subsidiary, you'll be having to give a full open access there. And, I'd like to talk about the UK. You mentioned Manchester earlier on. And, what are really the key barriers to developing gas storage in the UK? Can the UK really rely on its existing gas production and its existing pipeline imports? Do you think that storage is going to be a suitable mechanism to manage daily and seasonal gas demand variations?
For me, there is clearly no barriers to develop storage in the UK.
As a storage developer, you say that?
Yes, but probably, but it's the case everywhere. It's not so easy, but it's the case in any country, in all countries. It's not so easy to be granted permit to develop new facilities, but I think it's, as I mentioned, the case in each European countries. But clearly for us, UK is a very open market with a good visibility for the future and a good stability in regulation rules. So it's for us a very important market to develop storage capacity. And we intend to do so through our subsidiaries, Storage UK.
For the next 2 to 5 to 10 years, you know, what is your vision for the kind of gas and LNG business in Europe?
I think that we should consider now LNG no more as a security of supply instrument, but more as an arbitrage instrument. And this arbitrage capacity will be clearly the major inductor to develop LNG facilities. And there is clearly a need for new LNG facilities in Europe. That's also a lesson from the recent Ukrainian-Russian crisis. So this development will be, for me, very efficient to have more and more a transparent and efficient market in Europe, because developing arbitrage possibility, developing flexibility is something very important for an efficient way of functioning for the market.